Jesus is grieving the death of his dear cousin. Along with sadness, a feeling of powerlessness might be welling up inside him. But Jesus doesn't give in to that sense of powerlessness. Look at what happens when the disciples come to him that evening, concerned about the people's hunger. Jesus doesn't throw up his hands. The disciples tell him, "These people are hungry. All we have is 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. What are we supposed to do? How in the world can we feed all these people?" In response, Jesus takes the bread that has been offered. He gives thanks and blesses it. He breaks it and gives it to them, and it's more than enough for everyone. By this simple, miraculous act, Jesus demonstrates something very important. He shows that God can use what we have to give. He shows that God can multiply what we have so that it becomes more than enough. What we have may not seem like much, but Jesus shows that in God's hands, it will multiply and bless the world with an abundance beyond our wildest dreams. By feeding all these hungry people with a few loaves of bread and a couple of fish, Jesus shows us that we can never assume that what we have to offer isn't of any use. Whatever we have to give, whatever number of loaves we have to offer, Jesus can multiply until our small gift becomes a blessing to a world in need. Dr. H. King Omi tells a story about a time that a congregation from Georgia wanted to start a Habitat for Humanity group. It was in the early days of Habitat, so the group traveled to Americus, Georgia, to meet with the founder of Habitat, a man named Millard Fuller. The group took a tour of the Habitat facilities and viewed a presentation on how groups operate. And then Mr. Fuller took some time to meet with them. During the course of the conversation, one of them said to Mr. Fuller, "We think this is what God is calling us to do. But before we begin, how much money do you think we should have in the bank to get off the ground?" Fuller leaned toward the man. In a very low and serious voice, he said, "My friend, it would be wholly irresponsible, completely negligent, totally feather-brained if you started a Habitat affiliate without at least $1. You have to have $1. Don't dare make a move without it." My friends, what you have to offer may not seem like much, but never assume that what you have to offer isn't of any use. Because whatever you have to give, whatever number of loaves you have, Jesus can multiply until your gift becomes a blessing of abundance to a world in need. God can multiply what you have to give. So when you feel that your energy is depleted, when you feel that you don't have another minute to give, when you feel powerless in the face of the needs around you, remember, God can use what you have. In God's hands, the little you have will be multiplied, piled up, running over, bursting with blessing for a world in need. Amen. Our music for meditation is a recording of the song Antonin Dvorak wrote, "I Will Sing Songs of Gladness," and it's Maria Ferrante being accompanied by Joyce.